Good evening. I am Professor Amitabh Banerjee, an epidemiologist and author of Pandemic Third Eye, which book reading of this book I had finished a couple of days back, I think about 3, 4 days ago. And after that, I had started narrating and giving commentary on my columns, which had beyond this book, which had come in various media outlets. Today, however, I will be giving a feedback which I received from a doctor who is in government service, and it was on LinkedIn, and he gave me a message, unknown doctor who wrote a message to me, which I will be reading out, and that is to convey that the 4 years have created an environment where people are afraid to question. People are those who understand also, they are also afraid, and sometimes they are so much brainwashed that they do not understand until unless they hear a clear voice of reason or they read things which are not in the main. There is no such thing in science. This is the pandemic has made a very strange discrimination ki what is information, what is science. It was anyway. I will read the column and I will be commenting on it, and it is self-explanatory to a large extent. So he has written on LinkedIn, dear sir, I recently read your opinion on HPV vaccination, HPV, hepatitis, herpes, HPV virus against cervical cancer. Uh, and it was totally eye-opening and thought-provoking. It has been a long time since I joined field of medicine, and it is refreshing to see someone standing up and questioning the guidelines rather than simply enforcing them. Let me make it clear at this point that I had written a column, detailed column in one of the media outlets, I think Empire Diaries, writing on the HPV vaccine and asking the question whether the human papilloma virus, which is supposed to cause this cervical cancer in the long run. That is, so on that basis, they have proposed a human papilloma virus vaccine, which covers only 2 or 3 subtypes. There are more than 200 subtypes, because those two, 16 and 18, they are mostly responsible. So based on that, they have, but they are not long-term studies to actually see the final endpoint, that is cervical cancer, because the vaccine is there for a few years only, and the cancer occurs in late middle age or old age. So they are proposed to give it to girls in 9 to 12 years, and so that before the sexual activity starts. So I had put a lot of questions on that vaccine. Not that I am against vaccines, but I want, before we start a program, particularly universal vaccination with large number of investment, we should be very strong on the evidence. And I have pointed out, quoting published papers, peer-reviewed papers done by Rees, which is published in the Journal of Royal Society, and about the gaps in the evidence. So anyway, that paper, I had written that column, and I had also shown my reservations of the way the vaccine is promoted, like by film stars and other celebrities, like they are promoting Coca-Cola and Thumbs Up. So those are also unhealthy things, but the vaccine is a health issue, which there should be debate among doctors and scientists rather than celebrities taken over and some Raj Sabha member giving a blanket statement without understanding the evidence. Unfortunately, many doctors do not understand the evidence. They don't read the evidence. I have my own friends who are not reading the evidence, who are gynecologists, oncologists. But when I point out these papers, they also develop certain reservations. So anyway, he was very impressed with this paper, and it was totally eye-opening, this HPV vaccination paper, human papillomavirus, and it is refreshing to see someone standing up and questioning the guidelines rather than simply enforcing them. I had been strongly advising, see his courage, his moral courage. He admitted that I had been strongly advising, almost fear mongering within the community, to get vaccinated for HPV. Your paper made me introspect and rediscover the essence of science, curiosity and rational thinking, which I had lost after joining MBBS, but was the reason I pursued science after 10th grade. See, his honesty and his conviction before he read my column that SP vaccine is very good. He also confessed that he was also fear mongering. So imagine many doctors who are not read my column, they are honestly thinking they are doing good for the community. I have many non-doctors who are enlightened. They say that doctor community is dishonest. I said they are not dishonest. They don't have time to study the evidence and the way the high pressure they live in, the busy schedule they observe. So they are really thinking that they are. So anyway, this paper, I am happy that he read that paper, and I am happy that this paper changes here. A person who was actively promoting the HPV vaccine. After reading an opinion, he continues, I searched further and came across COVID-19 third eye. Although it was difficult to get the paperback, I don't know why it should be difficult. It is easily available on Amazon, Flipkart, and Blue Rose, and delivered within 3, 4 days or 5 days. Maybe at that time he read, that time it may be in short supply. I managed to obtain a copy of the book. During COVID vaccination rollout, again he sees honesty. I was a junior resident and witnessed the process firsthand. I remember one of our interns dying after vaccination. He saw death of an intern after vaccination, but our authorities were eager to sweep it under the carpet. And even I believed it was necessary for the greater good. You see how brainwashed even doctors were. He saw her death and he sees moral courage. He's admitting it now. However, the student's family, the intern's family, coming from a poor background, received no compensation or proper send off. Your book on COVID-19 made me realize how wrong we were and how sinful our actions had been. It requires a lot of moral courage to admit this. Since then, I have been regularly following your opinions on various issues. Your choice of topics and the sharpness of your comments are very daring, to the point that I worry about how you manage to get away with it in this current environment, or how you stand up to the repercussions. So I must reassure the reader and others also that I have never faced any repercussion. These 4 years I have been writing and speaking according to the scientific evidence with data. Maybe that is the reason, because those who want to harass you, those who want to suppress you, they are afraid of hard data. Because I would always, whenever I wrote or I spoke, even the mainstream media had approached me and they asked me, is this your opinion? I said, I never give opinion. I give the evidence, the known science and the hard data. If anyone wants to rebut my whatever data I am giving, and based on that, whatever narrative, it is following from the data, not my own propaganda. So I expect that person to give equally hard data, and then I am ready to. So 4 years, not a single rebuttal I got, which I am looking for, because science develops by rebuttals and debate. So I must assure this person that he need not fear for my welfare. And as far as career is concerned, I am too senior to face any setbacks, because I don't actually need a job at this point. Most of the senior figures in our field, he continues, most of the senior figures in our field that encountered are people pleasers or careerists. Perhaps my exposure has been limited. I have mostly met mean-spirited individuals. Nonetheless, your voice offers hope and a different lead to the research community, and I hope it inspires more people. I also do hope. In fact, that is the reason I am narrating this on my YouTube channel. Not that I want fame and other things. It is much easier, you must have seen in the pandemic, to gain fame fast when you follow the current. I don't expect fame. I am just speaking that there may be many, many and many like him who are afraid to think also, forget about speaking. So this, his coming out should reach out as many people so they get the strength. And that is my idea, not to spread my personal fame, but to spread such messages, because I have not done any original thing. The 4 years of writing or reading or data which are available in the public domain, I have just compiled it. And as far as the science is concerned, it's acceptance science. This is the least original work I have done on this writing the book or writing the columns. It is just narration, and that shows how much propaganda has just washed away the thinking or even the science or suppressed. So I hope it inspires more people. I can never be as brave as you. My dear young man, you are already brave. You're accepting the moral courage requires the greatest bravery, and you have accepted that you were with a you were honest and you could change your views after reading it. After I'm not, you don't know me also. It's not that I have influenced you by my personal charisma. You just read my arguments or whatever my evidence, I would say. So, not have the courage to stand up against this wrong. You have the courage, young man. In fact, when I communicated to this young man about whether I have his permission to discuss this on my YouTube channel, of course, not disclosing the identity, his identity or the issue. So he immediately replied, "Ki not only you can do it, if required, I can also come." So I advised him, because since he is in government service and he is in a position where he his career is at stake, because it's not easy to get a good job nowadays, and honest persons suffer more. I said your message is more important than we'll see later, but as on the present circumstances, let me narrate this. Your message goes, more young people will be motivated, and they communicate among themselves, and that gives them strength. In fact, I have been attending few conferences during the COVID, after the COVID. Many young people or even middle-aged people, they come and walk up to me and appreciate that, yes, I am speaking. I said, yeah, you tell me what if I am wrong. Nobody tells me wrong, but they appreciate, but they cannot speak. Even people in, I would say, big government organizations, middle level, they have confessed. So I can understand your compulsions. I can understand their compulsions. And let us hope that this thing changes. Whenever I have people, I can never be as brave. I said, you're already brave. Whenever I have taken a stand, the system has always managed to knock me down and instill more fear in me. Where are we going? Tagore said, where the mind is without fear and head is held high. Those were poets with visions. Those were Nobel laureates. Those were the freedom fighters. And now he is talking about whenever he tries to, where the thinking is clear and all that. There's a poem, Gitanjali, where the head is held high, mind is without fear. It goes on, and the thinking is free, like steam flowing. So all this we are lost in this 4 years of the pandemic, and we are approaching Independence Day, and it has become a ritual now. We are losing our independence of thinking, independence of holding our head high. So there, whenever I have taken a stand, he has been knocked down and more fear has been instilled in him. However, I admire you for taking a stand in these times of careerism, pseudoscience, and politicization of expertise. Expertise has been politicized, or those who are politically, those who play politics in career, they go up perhaps. We don't know. Wishing you success and praying for future endeavors. Thank you so much. And I also pray that young people come forth, and at least come forth in the sense they regain their rational thinking, and we soon come out of the dark ages. We have entered the second dark ages of science, and that's all. I hope that this message goes to as many people, young people, old people also, the general community beyond doctors and doctors community. I hope so. Idea is to spread the message. Thank you so much. Thank you.